There are spoilers ahead in this one. Nothing major, because I really do feel that the less you know about this film, the more you will enjoy it. But if you haven't seen it, rest assured that it's well worth the money, so go out and watch it. So I've let this film percolate for a few days, and I'm glad I have. It really sticks with you, which is rare in this genre these days. For me, there's only one big, giant problem with it, but I'll get to that later. Everything else in this film I have the utmost praise for. I won't bog anybody down with plot points in the film because, as I said, the less you know about it, the better. The two leads put in brilliant performances. It's also good to see Mark Duplass, star of the excellent Creed and Creed 2, which you haven't seen, I would highly recommend them. And there's something unsettling, something scary about an empty room, something soulless. Generally, as humans, we don't like empty rooms. We get freaked out by them and we fill them up as soon as we can. We're faced with this in Backrooms. Empty room after empty room. Sometimes they're furniture in, but somehow still seem sparse. Sometimes there are things, inanimate objects, coming out of the floor, or are they coming up from the floor, or out of the walls or through the ceiling. Sometimes random wildlife will come flying through empty corridors. Echoes and sounds arrive. It's a very weird place. It's familiar yet foreign. It's simple yet confusing. It's spacious yet claustrophobic. There are cues here in this film from great directors of the past. There's a brilliant Lynchian quality to the whole thing, along with Kubrick. There's even Tobe Hooper, Sam Raimi, Spielberg in there as well, all used to brilliant effect by this fantastic young director. If I were going to be really kind to the film, I would say that it's almost The Shining for another generation. Not a direct comparison, but just what the film might mean to people. Like The Shining, I think the Backrooms will be consumed the same way. A set of people will watch this film and find it utterly boring and unintelligible. And then you will get another set of people who will study every frame and every scene of it and map it onto all sorts of meanings, from government conspiracies to psychological trauma. Now, psychological trauma is a big part of this film. One of the problems I had with it is that it trips up on its own logic, and that logic being that there's nothing more terrifying than your own mind. Your own mind can keep you prisoner with the horrors it holds, or the horrors that it hides from you to keep you safe and sane. There's a key point in the film where one of these horrors that has hitherto been in the shadows is presented on the screen for everyone to see in all its glory. And this can go one of two ways, really. You'll either be terrified or you'll find it laughable or a bit lame. I wasn't terrified by it. It was far scarier in my imagination, and I'm sure scarier in the imagination of the person sitting next to me, and in the person sitting next to them, and in the person sitting next to them, all of whom would have had a completely different idea about what this scourge was roaming around the hallways. Once the reveal was shared explicitly, the film lost me for a little bit, but only for a little bit. It was such a shame for me, as the scene was the highlight of the film up until that point. Surreal, macabre, revolting, disturbing, upsetting. It didn't need to go all the way for me. It was a decision the filmmaker made, and I do respect it because I've got so much respect for the rest of the film. It didn't rely on cheap jump scares. It's sparse, but it's filled with tension and dreads, horror, mystery and shocks. There's a fine line between making something surreal and making it unintelligible or just nonsense for the sake of being nonsense. It's a really hard skill, and Backrooms pulled it off. A great bit of filmmaking, but I fear with the sheer amount of money being made, we'll eventually get around to ruining the mystery with future installments where all the secrets and the interpretations will be laid out in great detail. However, if they leave it alone, it could very well go down as being a modern classic. It's a lot like Groundhog Day, but with less Andy McDowell and more dead seagulls.